Back with another Necro Overtime. We got some stuff to get everyone up to date on.
A lot going on in the world.
Yeah, this pyramid story, it's a couple days old now, but man, my TikTok is full of people breaking down this pyramid story. Super interesting. Let's jump right into it. This kind of gave me a mini excuse to write like a mini one-page outline too, because I want to look into this a little more, you know. So on March 13th, 2025, the Jerusalem Post published an article with the headline, "Mysterious Underground City Discovered Beneath Great Pyramid." The report talks about claims made by a team of researchers from the University of Pisa in Italy and the University of Strathclyde in Scotland, who had used synthetic aperture radar to scan beneath the surface of the Giza plateau.
So the people in Pisa are investigating Giza.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
That's fun.
That's some synergy, right?
Mm-hmm.
According to their findings, the radar data revealed a vast symmetrical underground system extending more than 6,500 feet beneath the area surrounding the Great Pyramid.
6,000 feet.
It's a lot.
How is that possible?
The 3D model, I'll post it with this in the comments for like Patreon or whatever. The 3D model of it is insane. It's crazy looking. At the center of the system, they reported finding 8 vertical cylindrical shafts, each descending roughly 2,100 feet into the ground. Surrounding these shafts were spiral formations described as concentric, coiled pathways that appeared to wrap around the shafts or descend in a helical pattern. At the base of each shaft, the radar reportedly showed cube-shaped anomalies, hollow box-like structures that appeared distinct from the surrounding material, like the earth around it. The researchers didn't speculate on what all of this might represent, and they didn't make claims about like who would have built these or what they're for. They just presented their model based off of their radar. So when you go on TikTok and whatnot, and even looking at the news stories for this, the term halls of a menti or menti gets thrown around a lot. That's what's been going on. So I'm like, I'm going to look into this a little more and see like what these claims are about and whatever. So I was able to write like this mini outline. But the phrase halls of Amenti doesn't come from ancient Egyptian text. It's actually the Egyptian belief, Amenti or Amentet referred to the West, which would be the land of the dead where the soul went after death. It's also referenced in the Book of the Dead that they have. But the version that we hear about today, an underground library or chamber system beneath the Giza Plateau, comes from the 20th century occult literature. There's nothing based in reality about this, because as soon as you look at that, the model, right, and then they talk about like the pathways and stuff. It looks like staircases leading down into some type of a structure, some type of room. So people online and whatnot have started throwing around like the halls of Amenti. There's all these secrets down there potentially.
How did they map this? Is this like ground penetrating radar type of thing? Like how did this come about?
Yeah, so it's called synthetic aperture radar. Let's scroll down here a little bit.
Oh, sorry, making you jump in your
Oh,
own.
no, you're good.
So, just asking questions. Like,
My mind doesn't work linearly.
If he would just keep his mouth shut for a couple more minutes, you'd probably get to it.
Here's why I wanted to look into this more, because there wasn't a popular or very well-known news source posting this. It was all like smaller publications and shit that I never heard of. And usually when you're talking paranormal, alien, conspiracy shit, that means that
1990s websites with
it just means that
The neon flashing. That bullshit.
it's probably there's more to it, whatever. So people, in mainstream academics and archaeological circles say that that none of this is accurate. All this stuff that, with the hulls and stuff none of it's accurate. Dr. Lawrence Conyers, a professor of anthropology and an expert in groundbreaking penetrating radar, said that this newer technology, this SAR and GPR, have depth limitations, and current radar technologies are generally only effective within a few dozen meters. So that's not really that much.
Not 6,500 feet.
No, or 2,100 feet even. So it needs to be peer reviewed. It's interesting because when you go through this whole thing, and I don't need to get into all of it, but when you get into it, people make it sound like there's like this real thing to these potential Egyptian libraries and stuff down there, or just in general, like that's a real thing, and you can trace it back to Madame Blavatsky. I went through the whole thing and got back to her eventually, and it's not even, she didn't even put Giza on, like didn't specifically say Giza, but she set up the ability for this other guy named Christopher Dunn. He came out with a book in 1998 where he basically stole all of her Egyptian ideas and put it onto the Giza thing. So all that kind of stuff seems a little silly, but maybe there is something cool down there. I don't know.
The interesting thing about Egypt is like the civilization lasted for 5,000 years.
Yeah.
It goes way the fuck back, which is really wild.
I'm not
when you
doubting.
think about how long 5,000 years is as far as a civilization goes.
Yeah.
There's so much that we don't know about ancient Egypt, you know? So there could very well be something like that buried.
That's a
way
long
down,
way down
deep. Maybe not that deep. Maybe they're, you know, I would like to see it get like peer reviewed or whatever, or get other people in on it.
So who's the initial source on this then?
It would be
like, who's the Jerusalem Post quoting?
They are quoting. Let me try
just this University of Pisa. I forget what you said exactly at the beginning. Giza.
Professor Corrado Malagna from Italy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Junior, right?
Junior.
Soprano.
Corrado.
And Filippo Biondi
All right.
from Scotland. They're not like, they don't seem to be like in this to make money or something, or like just make some outlandish claims. They're just, you know, mainstream science is pushing back on this idea. I mean, when you look at their model, what they have here,
God damn.
I mean, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
It is crazy. Are they trying to date this at all? Like the pyramids of Giza were built roughly 2,500 BC. Are they suggesting maybe the pyramids were built on top of this stuff that was already there?
That's, from my understanding, that's what they're saying.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that this was built before the pyramids.
So the Giza pyramids were built on top of this. So how far back do these things go? Even before that, before 2,500 BC. It's so crazy to think that people were around back then. Like, what was going on back then, you know?
The thing with ancient Egypt, too, is they were so advanced for their time, like more advanced than the average person is today. You know what I mean? Like the
average person's not too advanced these days. They can't even do a roundabout.
Yeah,
as Mike will attest to.
Amen.
I like the ancient alien things a lot. I think that's always super interesting and fun to talk about. I think it like kind of undercuts the ingenuity of the Egyptians.
I was
you
just
know
about
what I
to say
mean?
that the ingenuity of not prehistoric, but of man back then.
Yeah. You know,
It's true. Yeah. There's a slight to them.
Because we're like, there's no way they knew how to do all this stuff. It must have been ancient aliens helping them with some fucking futuristic technology.
And they're sitting there like that guy in the stands, like that angry, that meme of that guy who's like,
that's right. Like, we built these fucking pyramids and we're not getting any credit in modern day.
right.
We weren't a bunch of rubes. We had we had engineers, man.
You fuckers have hit 2 buttons on your phone and they bring food to you. We built these motherfuckers.
We built the pyramids.
Yeah, like, because then you get into like the spiritual side of them, and it's like really fucking elaborate. So is that all just stories in their mind they came up with? You know,
Great questions.
man, it's always super interesting.
Egyptian history is wild. You never think about a civilization lasting that long. They were around a long time.
Well, your civilization. My civilization is presented to me in one book. The book.
But just how everything lines up.
Have your fun. Have your fun with your little conversation. That's cute.
Why read a bunch of books when you can just read one, right, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know why you waste your time with science. It's spelled out very clear.
So it'd be interesting to see, you know.
If this pans out at all, if it goes anywhere. I love the Egyptian history stuff. It's so cool. So I hope these Pisa can figure out Giza. And we'll get some pizza and celebrate.
I would love a pizza. That's what I was going to say.
I don't know if I already said this or not, but like how accurate they were in aligning things with the stars and stuff. Like,
yeah.
it isn't.
It's all math, though, right?
Yeah.
Math doesn't change.
Right.
Everything's about math. Everything runs on math.
Maybe they were just really fucking smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's in reality, like breaking kayfabe a little bit. That is what I think, that they were just very smart. And they had a lot of slave labor going on as well.
That helps. That helps. Sure, sure. When you have time to think and make your brain big, and you have to worry about the manual labor aspect. Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There has to be so much more to find out, though. There.
Yeah. What don't we know about that civilization? What actually took place?
Yeah. Like, what if, just presuppose, like, what if they did have some technology beforehand that has been since lost and everything? Like, it was a booming spot for a minute or something. I don't know.
As National Treasure taught us, we lost the whole Library at Alexandria. It might have had all that wisdom in it, and it was buried under a church in New York City.
Those are some damn good movies.
All that knowledge has been lost to time. It's gone.
We fucking squeezed, 3 films out of that?
Yeah, yeah. Were there 3? What was the third one?
2 at least. Maybe 2.
Yeah, I don't remember a third one.
Okay, maybe 2.
First one's good. Second one's
they were fine. They're fun
questionable
movies. Yeah, there's good history stuff in them.
And Nick Cage. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Nick Cage and the dude from The Hangover.
That's right. All right, good update on the pyramids.
Keep my eye on it.
Yeah,
See what else happens.
please update
Perhaps
us.
future updates.
Do we want to talk about the release of the JFK files at all?
Sure.
Let's go through the story real quick, and then we'll talk about some thoughts. It's an AP story from the other day. Newly released documents related to President John F. Kennedy's assassination in 1963 gave curious readers more details Wednesday into Cold War-era covert U.S. operations in other nations, but didn't initially lend credence to long-circulating conspiracy theories about who killed JFK.
Huh.
So Trump's been promising for a long time to release the archives and whatever has never been released about the assassination. Were you pumped up? Did you think there was going to be any earth-shattering information coming out of this release?
No.
Not many people did, right?
Every few years, they would release some, documents. And then when Trump said he was going to release them all, I like the mindset. It did not excite me at all because I thought it was going to be a big nothing. I think anything of relevance was probably destroyed a long time ago.
I think you're probably right. I think that's going to pan out. So assessments of the roughly 2,200 files posted by the U.S. National Archives and Records Administration on its website came with a huge caveat. No one had enough time as of Wednesday to review more than a small fraction of them. The vast majority of the National Archives, more than 6 million pages of records, photographs, motion pictures, sound recordings, and artifacts related to the assassination have previously been released. So I think this is kind of a tentative thing. Everyone's still kind of going through this. People are using AI to search it, and there's a lot of redundancy, I think, of things that have been released previously.
Yeah. And we knew that covering this story.
And everyone assumed that.
But we've had a lot of people request that we talk about it. And maybe it'll be ongoing if something big comes up.
Right.
But it's more so just to kind of let people know, like, they learned some CIA stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing related directly to the Kennedy assassination.
An initial Associated Press review of more than 63,000 pages of records released this week shows that some were not directly related to the assassination, but rather dealt with covert CIA operations, particularly in Cuba. And nothing in the first documents examined undercut the conclusion that Kennedy assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. I think we all know that is not real. That is nonsense.
That he's the lone gunman.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that I've ever spoken to that says they believe that. I'd be very interested to have a conversation with them as to why they thought that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I think even President Trump has come out and said he does not believe that.
I believe you're right. Quote, nothing points to a second gunman, said Philip Sheenan, who wrote a 2013 book about the assassination. Quote, I haven't seen any big blockbusters that rewrite the essential history of the assassination, but it's very early. Well, other than the magic bullet theory that was complete nonsense, right?
Yeah. Back and to the left, right? Also from
JFK. Like all these things.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I was just talking about the JFK movie, which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It's, there's a lot of bullshit in there as well. But that JFK, have you seen that one, Ian?
Mm-mm. It's entertaining.
Kevin Costner is a district attorney in Louisiana who charges someone. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And they get into a lot of the extreme conspiracies of this assassination.
It's entertaining.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Long movie and very slow moving.
Like a 3-hour movie, right?
Yeah, and there's not a lot of action.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
courtroom
stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the last hour of the movie is his like big speech kind of in the courtroom.
Right. Yeah, it's been a long time. But
I watched it a couple years ago. It holds up to what you remember it as. But a lot of ridiculousness too.
Yeah. A year after the assassination, the Warren Commission, established by President Johnson to investigate, concluded that Oswald acted alone and there was no evidence of a conspiracy, but critics of the commission still spun a web of alternative theories. Historians are hoping for details fleshing out Oswald's activities before the assassination and what the CIA and FBI knew about him beforehand. Sheenan, that's the guy we talked about earlier, pointed Wednesday to previously released documents about a trip Oswald made to Mexico City at the end of September 1963. Records show Oswald intended to contact the Soviet Union's embassy there after living as a U.S. defector in the USSR from October 59 until June 1962. Sheenan said the U.S. government may have kept information about what it knew about Oswald before the assassination secret to hide what he described as officials' possible, quote, incompetence and laziness. They should have been keeping a better eye on this guy because, especially in Cold War stuff, 50s to 60s, this guy was living in the Soviet Union for 3 years as a defector.
You would think
they never trailed him back here more closely. Seems like the perfect patsy, right?
Yeah.
The CIA had Oswald under pretty aggressive surveillance while he was there, and this was just several weeks before the assassination, Sheenan said. There's reason to believe he talked openly about killing Kennedy in Mexico City, and the people overheard him say that. Speculation about such details surrounding Kennedy's assassination has been intense over the decades, generating countless conspiracy theories about multiple shooters involved by the Soviet Union, the Mafia, and the CIA. The new release fueled rampant online speculation and sent people scurrying to read the documents and share online what they might mean. The latest release of documents followed an order by President Trump, though most of the records were made public previously with redactions. So a lot of this was already out in the public sphere.
This is one of those UFO things, Ian, where it's just fucking redacted.
Misinformation. Before Tuesday, researchers had estimated that 3,000 to 3,500 files were still unreleased, either wholly or partially. Last month, the FBI said it had discovered about 2,400 new records related to the assassination.
What does that mean, the FBI discovered? They don't know what they have in their archives?
I don't think they do. I don't think anyone did, no.
That's good.
You wonder how much stuff is just like sitting around somewhere.
Or lost, right? Just in a basement somewhere in a box.
I get lost. I mean, it shouldn't be. But like, if it's already sitting in your facility, how is at this point someone not went down there and been like, oh, hey, these are JFK files. We should probably mark these and archive them.
Yeah. The latest release also is a boon to historians of the Cold War. Timothy Naftali, an adjunct professor at Columbia who is writing a book about JFK's presidency, said scholars now appear to have more details about U.S. intelligence activities under Kennedy than under any other president. For example, in October 1975, U.S. senators were investigating what the CIA knew about Oswald. And an October 1975 memo said they considered the agency, quote, not forthcoming. Well, the CIA is not forthcoming into congressional investigations. That's weird. A version of that memo released in 2023 redacted the name of the CIA security contact on Oswald in Mexico, as well as the identity of someone behind the, quote, penetration of the Cuban embassy there. The latest version shows that the security contact was the president of Mexico in 1975, Luis Echeverria Alvarez, who died in 2022, and that the Mexican government itself penetrated the Cuban embassy. Stuff like that's really interesting when it comes out.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff in that sense.
Yeah.
Just not necessarily tied back to
it's kind of ancillary to the assassination, but it's really interesting. Also, Naftali said before the latest release, the government had made public copies of Johnson's presidential, quote, daily checklist of highly sensitive foreign intelligence in the days after Kennedy's assassination, but with much of the material redacted. Now, he said, people can read what Johnson read. It's quite remarkable to be able to walk through that secret world. Documents show that in December 1963, the CIA director's office was receiving messages from and replying to operatives in Cuba seeking to undermine the government under Fidel Castro. One, on December 9th, 1963, relayed a message to the director from Cuba, quote, today received the Magnum pistols, but no bullets. So there's stuff going on. You're getting both a bird's eye view of the U.S. foreign policy and you're getting a snail's eye view of covert action right there on the ground. In a previously released April 1975 memo, the CIA downplayed what it knew about Oswald's visit to Mexico City before the assassination. The memo said the CIA recorded 3 phone calls between Oswald and a guard at the Soviet embassy, but only in the last one did Oswald identify himself. Quote, we're now discovering how much more the CIA and the FBI knew before the assassination about Oswald. And the question is, why didn't they act on information in their own files? Which is right. You got this guy who was a Soviet defector for 3 years in Mexico City talking about killing the president. And they had a contact monitoring them, and they apparently did not keep up enough surveillance and did not monitor it appropriately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew, they were aware. I mean, we're putting people in prison for being members of the Communist Party in this country. This guy was a fucking, they couldn't keep track of him.
It's really interesting. It doesn't necessarily tie right back, to a Kennedy thing. The amount of people probably in any given day and age talking about wanting to kill the president, is probably more so than I'd like to know. But it's weird.
He was on the radar. Everyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
They were surveilling him, yet somehow they didn't keep track of him enough. So what does that say?
Is that like I don't know a ton, like hardly anything about JFK's assassination. So I could be wrong on what I'm saying. But so they have this guy under surveillance. Do you think that maybe they were just on the side, still keeping an eye on him, but like kind of watching what he's doing, like nudging him along,
letting him work?
Like that's how I feel about the FBI or the CIA with Jonestown stuff. I don't think that they were in there like on the ground. But I think they were nudging it along from the outside and manipulating it to.
They weren't stopping it.
Right. Yeah.
They could have stopped. They could have picked up Oswald at any time.
That's what I mean. Like kind of like that. Like they're like,
all
right, we're going to just make sure this goes the way we want.
Boy, I sure think you can make that argument.
I agree.
That's truly what I do think with Jonestown. I think that they were on the side just nudging this whole thing along.
You can't refute that argument.
Whether it's with Kennedy, whether it's the CIA or the FBI or maybe both, I believe that one of those agencies was maybe somewhat involved. I think even kind of relating to the mob and their casinos that they had in Cuba that were getting affected by, you know, Kennedy's interactions with Cuba and his foreign policy kind of. I think that all kind of ties together. I'm not saying that's my exact thought, but I think there's probably something there.
At least look the other way on things.
Yes.
Should have been addressed.
At the very least. Like, just let him do his thing, and we'll see what happens. And you know, I think I've mentioned this before. The Kennedys and Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, had a horrible relationship. They did not like each other at all. I wouldn't put it past. And Hoover is a scumbag individual. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who actually does research on him realizes he was a racist piece of shit fuck. But I wouldn't put it past him to have just been like, whatever happens, happens.
Yep.
He was the one that called Bobby Kennedy to report that Jack had been shot and was very cold and
I'm sure he loved it.
Very straight to the point, and then just kind of hung up on him, and that was kind of the end of it. Didn't I believe when Bobby got to the phone, Hoover just said the president's been shot. We'll call you back with more, and then just hung up. Something brief like that to that effect.
Not even that he was killed, just
not
he
even
was
he was
shot.
killed, and not even hey, it's your brother. Just the president's been shot.
Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, I can't even imagine how much shit the CIA is involved in that we don't know about.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if I want to know about it.
Yeah, like just the little bits that we do know that we've talked about over the years on the show, like Operation Sea Spray, shit like shooting bacteria over cities and stuff.
All that stuff. They facilitated the overthrow of democratically elected governments in South America and Iran, all over the place.
Well, that gets down the whole Jim Jones route because, you know, them in South America and stuff. Out of some reason, Jim Jones just went to Brazil for no fucking reason. And all of a sudden he turns into super cult leader when he came back.
Like God.
Yeah.
They backed Pinochet and all kinds of those dictators in South America, which resulted in the deaths of millions of people.
That's right. Jonestown gets into the Guyanese government and stuff. Like they had CIA operatives, you know, in there.
Oh yeah,
and stuff
all over the place.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, so I guess we can say more to come on this, but probably not. I don't think there's anything in there that it's going to be earth shattering or very, very eye opening.
If there is something that pops up, we'll cover it. But otherwise, it's going to be just a bunch of nothing. Yeah. Nothing related to the assassination. I guess it might be some interesting tidbits on the CIA and all that, but
I don't think we'd. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't know that we'll ever get something.
No.
Nah.
Maybe something leaked or something, but not an official release of something.
No. I had read something that a historian, before these were actually released, I saw a few historians who had been granted previously access to the files say, you're not going to see anything. No. Anything that we deemed might have been important was never archived. Meaning from the beginning, it was just destroyed.
Yeah.
We will never get any more information.
I agree.
And I mean, we're to the point now where almost anyone that could have been involved is probably dead. So you're never going to get like a deathbed confession type thing. Mm-mm. And then even if you find like an old journal, we're going to question the authenticity of that. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're well past, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're well past getting any foolproof information.
Unfortunately, I agree. Yeah.
And that's the same for Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King. And I know Trump has talked about releasing those files. If it's not there for JFK, it's certainly not going to be there for these other ones that weren't necessarily the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's a whole rabbit hole. It's like Martin Luther King Jr. and the FBI, CIA and stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about releasing that stuff too, so we'll see.
But I think it'll be the same thing. I really, and again, I hope I'm wrong. I'm just, I have no faith that we're going to get anything out of that.
Yeah. Nothing official. There's never anything good in the official releases. You need a leak. You can tell when shit's real and when it's not. Like when Snowden leaked all that stuff, like people are like, oh, fuck. And it turned into a whole thing.
Maybe we'll get a leak and I'll be wrong and there'll be some stuff out there.
You'll hear it here first. We'll update you.
Yeah, that would be all right.
You just got OT'd. That's all we have.
You just got OT'd. Bye.